Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here on a Monday night, ready to continue our really fun series, the Great Halloween Debates. And tonight, we're going back into possible dark territory. We're going to find out if it is or not. And we're going to be talking about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. Last week, we talked about Halloween from 2007. So it's only fitting that we go right back into zombie territory. And of course, I'm not doing this alone. We've got a great panel here. We've got the Shape back with us again. What's up, man? Good to have you here again.
Yes. Great to talk
We
about
got
Rob Zombie's Halloween tea.
Yeah, man, exactly. You called it out, man. You said, "Hey, man, can I come back on for it?" I was like, "All right, that's cool, man." But I appreciate it seriously. We got Julie in the house, aka the historian. What's up, Julie? Good to have you here too.
Hello, I'm so happy to be here. I love a
Yeah,
little
man.
dramatic conversation. It's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, I know, man. It's gonna be fun, seriously. And we also got my man Ronan back with us on the panel. Good to have you here, brother. Glad that you could make it, man. Seriously.
Oh man, thank you for having me, man. I'm so honored and thankful to be here. I can't wait for this, man. This is gonna be so much fun.
Absolutely, man. So if you guys in the chat, and by the way, hello to everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. We appreciate you guys taking the time to be here. We do see all of you guys. But if you have not checked out our previous streams in this series, you got to check them out. We've done, as I mentioned, Rob Zombie's Halloween from 2007. We did H2O, which was a blast as well. And just last night, we ventured into Thorn Cult territory with the Curse of Michael Myers with my man Lee from Drum Dums. And so definitely check this out at the end. Once we go through all the movies, we will have a score for each film, and that's how we're going to rank the Halloween franchise. So definitely keep your eyes open for that. Keep your notifications on. What's up, Paula? Paula's in the house. What's up? Hope you're doing well. We got Keith in the house from board now. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Scott's in the chat. Hey, Scott. Good to have you here. Nathan's in the house. Of course, we got the general in the live chat, keeping things smooth. What's up, Val? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Who else do we have? Russell's in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Russell. Thanks for hanging out with us. Seriously. Good to have you here. And we also have Ant-Man. What's up, man? Hey, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. Saying what's good, y'all. All right. Let's see. And we also have Chuck. What's up, Chuck? Hope you're doing well. We got I knew Eric would show up. Eric's in the house saying, "Love me some hobo." No, you don't. And that damn white horse isn't in the movie as much as you think it is. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well. And Eric will be with us tomorrow night as we venture into the other Halloween too. So keep your eyes open for that. Gene, what is up? And Val's like, "Ronan." That's awesome, man. Vanderhoff, what's up? Hello, first time here. Welcome. We appreciate you coming here and hanging out with us. We hope you enjoy the conversation. I think it's going to be a blast. So thank you for being here. All right. And I think that's about everyone. Oh, hey, we got Prime Time in the house saying, "Hey guys, first time here. Welcome, Prime Time. We appreciate you coming to hang out with us. This is going to be a lot of fun." And of course, we got my brother Steven from Craven Something Scary. What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Okay. Eric says, "I do love me some hobo." I know you do, man. You he is consistent. I will give him that. I love you, man. Kenny's in the house. What's up? And Steven said, "Giddy up." Sorry, the white horse just ran by my window. There you go, man. Vanderhoff saying loved the show with Drum Dumps. Well, thank you so much. We had a blast last night. Thank you for coming back and hanging out with us. We're going to be going through each movie, and this is only our 4th episode, so we got a long haul. So thank you for being here. We appreciate that. And I think I caught up with everyone. Val said, no hobo Myers. Well, I'm going to tell you what, Val, it might happen. It might happen. Who
Is
knows?
that the real picture?
Who knows what the score is going to be? Ben Hawk said, I subscribed today. Well, thank you for that as well. Definitely appreciate the support and welcome to the community. I think you're going to find this is a really, really awesome, very cool group. Rachel, what is up? She's she said, can't wait
Let's
to hear
go.
Night rant about hobo. You know it. You guys know what's up. All right. So let's get this thing going. So, as you guys know, we are grading each of these films through 10 categories, and it's random. We've got the wheel. The wheel has, I believe, 14 possibilities. So that's kind of the fun of this. We've got 10 categories. We also have 2 possible talking points, which talks about some things too. But let's take a look at what we've got. We've got categories. Michael is a category. The story, the final girl, the best scene is a talking point. The worst scene is a talking point. Kills is a category. Mythology, atmosphere, the characters in the film, the cinematography, the sound design, the mask or lack thereof, the directing, the it factor. Okay, so those are our categories, and we're going to be scoring them 1 through 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. And you guys can put 0.5s in there, so you could do a 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, or what have you. And at the end, that's how we are going to score Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. So let's bring up the wheel. Here we are. You know who that is. There's let me I'm sorry, guys. I rant about this a lot. Look at Rachel said night already with the shade. And let me just say, and in all seriousness though, we will be fair about this, and that's why we're doing this by categories so that we can, be fair and leave behind our biases. And that's for our favorite films as well as our least favorite films, you know. Hey, we got Lamar in the chat too. What's up, Lamar? We got Gina, and hey, we got Danny in the house. What's up, Danny? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. All right. And also to remind folks, as you come in, please make sure that you hit the like button. It helps to support us. Also, if you're not subscribed to The Shape in the Shadows, make sure you guys do that, man. I've got the link in the description. No doubt. Awesome stuff from Shape. And Shape, you're going to be first, bro. So we're going to spin this wheel starting for you to see which category or talking point we're going to start with, man. So
Ready.
let's do this. All right. All right. There, here we are. Yeah, baby. Julie, did you just groan?
No, I said,
Oh, man. All right,
negative.
so we're talking about the characters in the film overall, all the characters Shape. So what do you think about the characters in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, and what would you give it for a score?
For all the characters, like my biggest one for the characters, the one I didn't quite care for was, of course, Dr. Loomis. I didn't like how they portrayed Dr. Loomis in this. But I mean, at the same time, if you want to look at it, I mean, he's not a doctor no more. I mean, he's trying to make money and stuff, and this is a way to make money. But I just didn't like how he did this character like that. I didn't like how they did that. When it comes to Laurie Strode, I kind of see her way she was acting in this movie, because after she had, this trauma and everything else, I mean, some people can get past it and move on, just like Annie did. I mean, she was still she still got her own life. She was still kind of doing pretty good, which I did like how Annie was in this. But when it comes to like Laurie Strode, like I said, she was just, you can understand, because some people can't, get over things, and they kind of put herself more in a darker hole and stuff. So I can understand like why they kind of made her that way. And then of course when she finds out that she's Michael's sister, she kind of really freaking loses it. Yeah. So, and then of course when we get to, of course, the Shape himself, I think Ty Mann just still did an awesome job playing Michael, still giving that that scariness, that brutefulness that he portrayed for Michael. And then, of course, we got to give it to the Academy Award-winning performance in this movie with Sheriff Brackett.
Yeah.
He had especially when he found Annie died, the way he acted, the way he portrayed that scene too. I think he did one amazing job. I mean, pretty much he was the best one out of everybody in that movie. He had the best performance. I mean, when he did for that scene, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give this a 5.
Get out!
Oh. I didn't think it would go that way.
What are we doing? All right, you guys heard it. The hammer has dropped. All right, let's go to crazy people are like, what? All right, next up, Ronan. What do you think about the characters overall in the film, and what would you give a score for it?
Man, I agree with the Shape on one part. Brad Dourif is excellent. Other than that, nah, not so much. The only reason I'm scared of Tyler Lemaine is because he's gigantic. You could have had the Halloween mask on him or took it off of him. I'd still be scared of him. He's gigantic. He doesn't capture the essence of the Shape. He doesn't James Jude Courtney this shit. So, but when it comes to the other characters, I can't hate on Annie because obviously, Danielle Harris is like Halloween gold and Halloween royalty. So I'll give it a 3.5.
A 3.5. Okay. All right. Julie, how about you, Julie? What do you think of the characters overall, and what would you give a point for it?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's a single new person in this movie that I liked. I think every supporting person in this movie was kind of atrocious or just like the I like Tyler Mane. I don't like the grunts though. I couldn't stand that. Like made me want to mute the TV. I really like Scout in this. Well, okay, I like Scout in this. I think this is like the most unfluffy version of like a part two to somebody who survived something like this that I've ever seen. It's so extreme, and it's sad and it's nasty and it's like horrible to see what she's going through. So I do like that, but I do think I didn't like the way she treated Annie, who also went through like the same thing as her. So anyway, I think overall I'd give it a 3.
A 3. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty generous.
All right. Real quick, I just gotta hit this one. Val says for characters a 0.5. Loomis is a jerk. Hobo Myers, the mom, just a big nope. Well, Val, let me tell you what I think. Here's the thing. You guys all made some pretty good points, but I really feel the characters, there's an unevenness to them as far as how I perceive them. I think that Scout did a great job with what she was asked to do. It was very dramatic. It was very intense. It was very powerful. So I can appreciate that. I didn't much enjoy her character. You know what I mean? Like I was invested in her because it was Laurie Strode. It wasn't a fun portrayal, but movies aren't always made to be fun. But that's just how I feel about that. I thought Annie was better in this film, and I thought Danielle Harris did a great job. I also agree Brad Dourif was the MVP. It was fantastic stuff that he did, just sitting at the table with the girls, trying to keep this thing together, trying to be positive. And then, of course, when he finds his daughter, I mean, that to this day still kind of gives me a little emotional feeling. So that's great stuff. We'll get to Michael specifically, but just to kind of touch upon him as far as characters Shape, I think you said it really well. Tyler Mane is great in what he was asked to do. You know, he's a big physical presence, but the problem I have with it is, and I enjoy it for what it is, but you know, Tyler Mane is 8 feet tall. Okay. How could he not be Michael? How could he not kill people, you know, and be Michael Myers? Like he's so imposing physically, and Julie mentioned the grunting and so forth. To me, it's more of a fear that you have. Like I'd be afraid of anyone that big that was, you know, going crazy. But the thing about other Michael Myers, and we just talked about this last night, it's a certain physicality that's creepy. It's kind of underneath the surface, and that sticks with me longer, because when you're talking about a regular or more regular sized person like a George P. Wilbur or James Jude or Nick Castle, like you know, those guys, it's kind of like you don't know exactly what they can do, and when they're presented the way that they were, I find that scarier. But that's neither here nor there. Loomis pissed me off. And I know what they were trying to do. They wanted to do something different than Donald Pleasance, and I understand that. But I was not invested in. He did not have to be in the movie. He did not have to be in this movie. It was worthless for him to be in the movie. And yeah, fame can do that to a person. And I know they kind of portrayed his character off of, I think it was some real life, either lawyer or someone that they kind of were getting inspiration from. But I wasn't invested in him. So when he went to go and save Laurie at the end, I was kind of like, whatever. And Michael felt the same way when he said die. So Loomis didn't do anything for me. So I'm going to give overall for characters, I'm going to give a 2. I'm giving a 2. That's where I'm going.
Here, I thought I was the one gonna be like, screw this movie.
Well, you know, I'm just saying. I think that the characters, although I loved Brad Dourif and I thought Danielle Harris was really, really good, everyone else, I respected Scout's performance, but I wasn't really invested in her. You know what I'm saying? Like her arc was, it just didn't feel organic. You know what I mean? In the first movie, she was definitely a damsel. You know, she had a couple moments where she stepped up to the plate, but she was so much of a damsel in distress. And now she's like a biker badass. And it's like, it just didn't feel as organic versus H2O, where you see Laurie go through this huge arc. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm coming from on that. Anyways, okay, let's see what we got going on in the chat. Val, thank you so much for putting links in the chat. We've got our link to our memberships and Patreon. If you guys would like to join and hang out with us, exclusive streams and hangouts, watch parties. Also, I will be revealing the total points for each of these films to members and also Patreon members. So that's the only place you're going to be able to get those before our big reveal at the end of this series. So thank you, Val. Steven saying he's going to give a 1, and that is for Danielle Harris. There you go. T. Parker in the house saying he's going with a 0.5. I only care about Annie and Lee Brackett. All right. Eric saying true. Loomis didn't need to be in the movie, but Donald Pleasance didn't need to be in a total of 5 movies either. Well, no one. You could always make these movies and eliminate characters, but I think what Loomis brought, and we just talked about this last night in Curse of Michael Myers, there was a heart that he brought to these films, and Donald, his charisma as an actor, I think that that's what it was, you know, and not only that, but the fact that, you know, he's Van Helsing. He's hunting Michael. This has been a lifelong obsession. And as the movies went on, you saw him like devolve, you know, getting more paranoid, more intense, taking more chances. And I think that was the fun of seeing that version of Loomis in each movie, because you could see how he was basically what Sartain became, in my opinion. Sartain is what Loomis could have become. You know, infected by that evil, paranoid, and obsessed with Michael and everything that he's doing. So I agree. You know, Loomis didn't need to be in this movie, but Donald Pleasance, I don't know. I think Donald Pleasance had to be in the movies that he was in. I think he was just so much part of the heart of it. So,
well, I think after Halloween 4, Donald Pleasance carried 5 and 6.
He definitely carried 5 and even 6 to a degree. I agree. Even at his advanced age, he was still rocking it, man. He really was. Steven was saying the same thing, man. Can't picture it without him. I think, and Lee said something, and I know we're ranting, but Lee said something very important last night too. He said that, and I never had worded it like this, and I totally agree. He said that the character of Loomis is a character that most horror franchises wish that they could have. If you think about any horror franchise and some of the most beloved, they don't usually have a character like that is kind of like the opposite end of the spectrum. It's kind of like Batman and the Joker, something like that. And it's done in a way where he's also our POV. He gives us the information, he gives us the backstory. And again, Donald Pleasance was just so gifted in the way he was able to handle the character. So I feel as though he was definitely needed. He was definitely, and he's missed.
Real quick, what I was going to just say before that, and you actually kind of hit right on it, was imagine the first Halloween without Donald Pleasance.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. It would just been like, wow.
Not as big of a deal, I think.
Yeah, I absolutely. He gave the film a lot of gravitas. He gave the film importance. He made us care about what Michael was about, in my opinion, because Michael obviously wasn't what he became in that first movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know who he is. He's a guy in a William Shatner mask. So what? But Loomis is the one that gave us all of this background. You know what I mean? So,
yep.
All right. Zach in the house saying, are we talking about how underrated this film is? Well, we might be. It depends. Depends on the category. Right now, we've got the spectrum on this category of characters. So we will see. All right. Next category. Let's go to our next spin. Ronan, this will start you off. Let's see what we get. Ooh, okay. The kills. The kills in the film. Ronan, what do you think about the kills in Halloween 2? And what's the point total that you're going to give for it?
I tell you what, I think Julie mentioned it earlier. The number one thing I don't like about the kills, because a lot of the kills are actually pretty good, but what I don't like is I don't like vocal Michael Myers. I don't like him grunting or I don't want him showing any emotion. I want the victim to not understand why this is happening. And when he shows anger, it's like, okay, he's clearly pissed off. That's why he's going on a rampage. If he's not showing anger, it's even scarier because you're like, why are you doing this? There's no explanation. You don't get one. It's just going to happen.
Right.
The nurse kill being the one that sticks out at the beginning in the dream sequence. I would give the kills out. Like if I'm looking at the whole franchise and then looking at this movie, I mean, you got a dude getting his head sawed off with a piece of broken metal from a car accident. That was pretty gnarly. So if we're going off of like hardcoreness, the kills were pretty good. If we're going off of creativeness, it's, to me, maybe a 2.5 generously.
2.5.
You've got Michael in this new franchise stabbing people in the throat with light bulbs. You see him decorating. This to me was just like, it's almost like some rock star dude wrote the movie and was bullied as a kid and is angry and was like, oh wait, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 2.5, I guess.
2.5.
Okay. All right. Julie, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. Something I for me personally, I think a lot of like the nurse and like you said, the people in the coroner's van, Richard Brake, when he gets his head sawed off, that was like, some of them just went on for so long, and like with the nurse, there was like a gratuitous number of stabbings, and it was just like, was a bit too heavy-handed for me because I think of like H kills, and some people say that was like mean-spirited, but I would say that is like almost family-friendly compared to this movie in some way. I don't know if that's the tone being a bit different or what, but um, at least in that one, it didn't go on forever, and yeah, like the head sawing was like ugh, and just for me, I was a bit grossed out, and I don't think that's a Halloween thing, in my opinion. I don't think over the top like that was completely necessary. It did make it like really horrific, which the whole hospital scene in itself is terrifying. And seeing how angry he was, and yeah, like with the nurse, like it was pretty horrific. So I think I'd probably go a 2.5. Because a lot of it was pretty scary, but nothing was too creative, and yeah, some of it went on too long and was a bit too nasty for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shape, how about you? What do you think?
I actually enjoyed most of the kills in Halloween 2. Especially like their scene where he grabs her. I mean, to me, that's like an iconic scene right there for me in Rob Zombie realm of Halloween. And then, of course, especially when he's in the cornfield, and you got those guys like beat him up, and he gets up and he takes those guys. I think that was pretty cool. So that was pretty cool kill scenes too for that one. I mean, pretty much most of the kills I really enjoy. Especially, I think one was kind of funny where we hit the guy who take out the trash, and he's like, "Hey man, hey man, don't do this." He's like trying to pick on Michael, and Michael just kind of takes him out, which I think it was funny in a way, but I think it was just mostly funny. I mean, it's like when but again, he's got no James Ducorny, strength of his foot. When James Ducorny stomped on the guy's head, it just completely smashed him. This one he had to take a little extra, couple hits to smash his face in. But again, when it comes to like that, like Rob Zombie was trying to do more like realistic type of kills and like what we actually can do in a way. So, but for me, I mean, overall, I'm gonna give it 4.
A 4. Okay. All right. Real quick before I give my score, just to say we got MAGA in the house with the channel member anniversary. What's going on, man? Saying Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is greater than Ends. Changed my mind. Love you guys. All right. Well, hey, we will get to Ends at some point soon, and we're gonna find out if that point total is higher or lower. But thank you so much, man. Seriously, for the report. Just the support and just being here and hanging out with us and having fun in the live chat. It really means a lot. Seriously, we appreciate it, no doubt. Okay. All right. So, for me, I think that the kills, there's some interesting kills throughout the film. And some of them, like you guys said, some of them are kind of, I guess the word I want to use is like mean-spirited. And that sounds weird saying that for a slasher film, but some of them are. And not that I have a huge issue with that. I have more of an issue, and Julie, you said it too. We've got the anger going on, the grunting and stuff like that. And I think, and Ronan, you said this too, I think it just kind of, it makes Michael so much more transparent. He's obviously in like revenge mode. Is one way that I look at it. He's taking out his anger on these victims, which is fine, but I just think it diminishes Michael a little bit as far as what he was originally intended to be. Like, he's not Jason, okay? You guys know Friday the 13th is my favorite franchise. This movie, he's more physical. His physicality is more like a Jason Voorhees, which is fine. But that's not Michael Myers, right? So there were some good kills in it, and I appreciated, Tyler's ability to make you afraid and all of that. But I'm not high on the kills, so I'm going to actually give it a 3. I'm going to go with a 3 for kills. All right, here we go. And Eric in the chat, let me get to Eric here, saying, I get not scoring it well. Because of the brutality, but lack of creativity is a reason makes me scratch my head. Early Michael just stabbed and strangled. Those kills are pretty simple as well. Well, there's truth to that too. Although one thing I did like about the original, and we're going to get to that at some point for sure, is that, there was that idea of Michael setting up his victims, taking the time, stalking his victims first. He stalked them for like damn near half the movie. Then once he killed them, I think there were a couple that were, like you said, basic, but then setting them up, putting them on display for Laurie, like there was just a majesty, if that's a word I could use. There was a majesty to the way Michael was portrayed in 78 that you don't have here. And there's going to be people that like one versus the other. So there's no issue with that. But I just think we could have had anybody 7 feet tall in a mask do what they were doing in this film. You know what I mean? And I think what they did in 78 is much tougher to achieve, which is, you've seen that through the franchise, because there's been ups and downs with the way Michael's been portrayed. Having that fine line between something that is like majestic, but scary, but creepy, but yet not angry and emotional, that's tough to do. And I think, Nick obviously did a fantastic job. James Drew Courtney did a fantastic job. That's what makes Michael Myers Michael Myers. If he's just angry and just killing the shit out of people and grunting, I could watch Jason or Leatherface do that. I want something different from Michael. So that's just how I feel about it. But all right, guys, let's head to our next category. Julie, this one is for you.
Okay.
Let's see what we get. Ooh, yeah, baby.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take 2 seconds.
Yes. Julie, what do we want to give for a point total for Rob Zombie as far as his directing of Halloween 2?
Rachel.
She said, "Oh dear."
Yeah. Dang. Okay. I don't want to go super low. But I had a bit of a problem with the pacing. I felt like the middle section was quite kind of boring, and the time it took for Michael to like get to Laurie and that whole in between of him just traveling was, I didn't really care for the pacing of that. Like we said earlier, like I said earlier, I didn't really like how long some of the kills kind of dragged out.
Mm-hmm.
One scene that really just irritates me and is Richard Brake when he's when the corner van crashes and he's sitting there just suffering, but he's just saying the F word over and over again for
like 6 times.
I don't know. It's like, it feels like it's 6, 7, 8 times, and maybe I would do that in that situation. I don't know, but stuff like that, it was just like, I don't know. Little things irritated me about the way this kind of flowed. And I also wasn't thrilled with the whole third act of the movie. It just didn't feel very exciting to me. And I just didn't like where it went. So I'll probably do a 2.5.
Okay.
I'm
all right.
sorry.
2.5. No, hey, no problem at all, man. Tell us how you feel. And real quick too, just to say hello, we got Mario in the chat, we got Mary in the chat, Hollywood guy. We also got Health and Fitness with Nick. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the community. Hope you guys are enjoying our conversation as we debate these various categories for Halloween 2. And also, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. It definitely helps to support the channel and this stream. Steven's going with a 1 for directing. Good Lord. All right. Shape, what do you think about the directing for this film overall?
I mean, I kind of agree with Julie with some of the points and stuff. I mean, when we go to Rob Zombie, we see all those other films and stuff, and him trying to like do certain things in this film too, especially like the first one. I mean, he's especially with the language and stuff, he does go over the top way too much. Especially that scene where F constantly. That does kind of get annoying after a while. And of course, some of the things and just, I mean, overall, I mean, again, I actually didn't mind the first act. Especially when we got to the hospital scene, I really like that scene. When we get to the second act, it was. It was all right. It was some of the things and stuff. And then when we get to the third act, I think the third act did it very well. Again, because for me, it's going to be, of course, of Sheriff Bracken, of course, because the way he acted and everything else, how he portrayed things. But I mean, overall, when it comes to his directing of everything else, I mean, I can see what you guys mean about the whole, grunting stuff. Michael doesn't, speak. I mean, but again, if you go through certain things with Michael, you do hear him grunt sometimes, right? Like if he gets shot, you hear the, when he got stabbed in the 18, he went, you still hear the stuff, but it's not a continuous,
right?
Stuff, which I understand that too. But and then of course, my biggest thing for me is I don't know. Again, I don't know if he's got a contract with his wife or something that, hey, if you make a movie, I have to be in it. There was no reason for she died. There was no reason for her to come back.
Yeah.
In Halloween 2. So for him, but again, he kind of when it came to that white horse, he just thought of that when he was driving down the road and saw a horse. Oh, white horse. Oh yeah. I want to put a white horse in my movie. Let me see here. Yep, and my own wife back there should be like the holder of the white horse, and yeah, we'll get that taken care of. Yes. For me, when it comes, but overall, when it comes to full directing, I'll give it. No, you know what? I will give it 2.5.
2.5. Okay. All right. All right, Ronan, how about you?
I think this is probably the number one problem with the movie. If Rob Zombie didn't call this Halloween or Halloween 2 and didn't have a Halloween mask and his name wasn't Michael Myers and there wasn't, Laurie Strode and Halloween characters, I think it'd be a good Rob Zombie movie. If it was just some hobo in the field stabbing dudes up, yeah, works. But as a Halloween film, it's my problem with this specific film mainly is he projected his style of filmmaking onto something that most people consider a gem, like horror royalty. I think that he added too much, I'm going to go back to the first movie, but I mean, it's still in this one is like that father character where he's just so vulgar and rude and ignorant. It's like, I don't understand why he has to portray that in every single film. If that's his own style, that's one thing, but putting it in a Halloween film, again, it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it fits. Those guys that were in the field that, were making fun of, beating them up, making fun of them and shit. And it's like, that just doesn't feel, Halloweenish. I also don't like the idea of seeing Michael Myers walk around in his off season with his mask off. I don't want to, it doesn't help add to that mystery of him.
Right.
It makes him more understandable, and I don't want to understand him. That's why he's scary. So the directing for me, I'm gonna give it a 1. I can't deny it. I don't like the directing in this. I don't hate Rob Zombie as a director. I love his music, just not don't do Halloween.
All right. Okay, we got a 1 down. And real quick too in the chat to catch up with these guys, T. Parker was saying the direction was done better here than his last film, and you can feel Rob's voice in the film. A 4 out of 5. Okay. Wow. Rachel saying Zombie's direction in this one is so chaotic. That's a good word for it. Chaotic. I like that word. Let's see. Mary saying, Night, I'm a night watcher, meaning I'm a big fan of your channel and I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Mary. That's very sweet. We appreciate you being here. We really, really do. Thank you so much. And look what we got going on, man. Ronan's being sneaky. on the panel
Hey.
and gifting out memberships. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, that you didn't have to do that. Thank you so much, man. Seriously.
You know it, man. Don't worry about it.
I mean, well, yeah, man, but thank you. It really helps, the channel out, and helps us to be able to do what we do, man, week in and week out, and just the time that is put into it and scheduling and all that. But thank you. I really appreciate you, brother. Seriously.
You're welcome, man.
That is awesome.
You guys deserve it, man. You're so welcome.
Thank you so much, man. Seriously. And Hollywood guys in the house with a super chat. Thank you as well, man. Much appreciated. And Hollywood guy is saying, Rob Zombie's Michael looks to me like a homeless man on roids, to be honest.
Yeah. How does any homeless man eat that good?
That's true too.
That sounds so terrible.
Yeah. He says, not well directed, in my opinion. 3 out of 10. All right. Wow.
No, he's eating dogs and stuff, don't forget.
Yeah, that was another thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. Well, now, go ahead.
I won't even. I'm just, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, Hollywood guy, man, thank you so much. We appreciate you being so supportive. And look, let's play a quick clip here for you. Something we haven't done in a little while. This is what sometimes what you think of when you think of Halloween 2. Yeah,
man, I thought that was only for the Christmas season.
Right. Oh my god.
Where do you find this stuff, dude? Like,
oh man, I'm telling you, if you guys knew how much time is put into putting these things together, you'd probably say you're crazy, man.
That's why, bro. That's why you deserve this much, all that love. That's why you deserve it from everybody in the community. Like, you are hands down one of the best content creators and one of the most honest and sincere and loving towards your community, content creators I've ever seen. So we appreciate you, dude. We all do. I mean, I love you. I know everybody here on the panel definitely does. So
I appreciate that. You're too kind, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Like I've always said, you guys are the reason that we do this, and that we're able to do this, and to be able to share these conversations and fun times and laughs, and as my buddy Steven always says, to do life together and stuff. It's special. So, like I always say, you guys are the ones that really make this happen. The love that you guys have for each other and for the channel and for what we do here. Seriously, it's humbling. It truly is, man. But thank you so much. Seriously. Now, for me, for directing, you guys pretty much said so many great things, and I agree with so much of what you've said. I think that Rob definitely showed his voice in this film, and I can appreciate that. There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on, and I've covered that. If you guys haven't seen those videos, check them out in my Halloween playlist talking about Rob Zombie. The studio definitely put a lot of pressure on him. He didn't even want to do this film, but he did it, so he didn't have to do 3. So I give respect to him for that. He made choices I don't necessarily agree with, like you guys said, sometimes going a little too far. Like you guys said, Richard Brake, and just by the time he said the F word the 4th or 5th time, I was like, well, geez, we might as well go for 20, and that's just what we're dealing with in a Rob Zombie film. He did get some good performances out of Brad Dourif and Danielle and Scout. But I do agree. Julie made a great point about the pacing. I do think that the middle of the film, it lags quite a bit. And I know he's trying to show a different side of Michael, tiptoeing through the tulips and eating flowers and bugs in broad daylight. But I didn't want to see that. Ronan, like you said, I don't want to see that, like in 78 and in Kills, about the dog, he must have gotten hungry. But I don't want to see Michael eat the dog.
Right.
I don't need to see that. I want that mystique to stay at that level. That, again, and I know I keep ranting, but I just feel strongly about it. The mystique that he has is that mysterious figure from the shadow. That's what separates him so much from other slashers, in my opinion. That's what makes him who he is. So if he's out in broad daylight hanging out and he's panhandling with the other hobos on the street and stuff like that. It's like he's not special anymore, you know? He's just not as special. So, you know, but Rob made those choices. He obviously had a tough situation trying to do this Halloween shit. But I still gotta call it like I see it for directing. I'm gonna go at 2.5. All right. 2.5 for directing from me. Okay. And real quick too, man, we've got Sarah's in the house. What's up, Sarah? The queen has made it. Hope you're doing well, Sarah. Great to see you. And thank you so much for being here. Seriously. All right. Let's go to our next category, guys. I'm really excited to see what we got. I'm going to be starting this round off, my spin. So directing is out. And here we go. Oh boy, we were so, so close. We were so close to the mask. I was just praying.
Oh.
Okay, sound design. So the sound in the film. You know, I think that. Listen, again, I'm just being honest how I feel. I don't think that the sound design was anything special, you know, for this movie. Again, just last night we were talking about how. In Curse of Michael Myers, which is also a maligned entry. It really is. But for sound design, at least, I thought they did a hell of a job with that film. In this movie, you know, I know Rob Zombie is trying to make this his own, and he's trying to not lean heavily into the Halloween theme and all of that type of stuff. But I just feel as though the best movies in this franchise really transport me. You know, there's a certain ambiance and atmosphere, and the music is part of that. And I just didn't feel like the sound design did that enough for me. There were some moments for sure, but it wasn't anything special. So for me, for sound design, I'm going to go 2.5. I'm going to go 2.5. Okay, Shape, what do you think about the sound design in this film?
When it comes to sound design, I don't mind the sound design, but again, as you say, you know, he wanted to do his own thing and stuff, and didn't want to go to like the John Carpenter theme and stuff. But at the same time, you can always put your own, like, you know, your own music, whatever, to make your own like John Carpenter, you know, the Halloween theme. You look at Halloween 2, look at Halloween 6. You know, they put different types of, you know, music, instruments, whatever, into the theme and stuff. You could have done that too. I mean, you had the theme in the first one, but not having the theme in the second one was kind of like, you know, where's that? But I mean, overall, I mean, I didn't mind some of the new sound design he had, but at the same time, you know, having the Halloween theme in there always kind of helps it out, in my opinion. So, I'll probably give it maybe 1.5 on this one.
Okay, we got a 1.5. And real quick, before I get to you, Ronan, Eric made a great point here, saying there are definitely different Michael fans that prefer the mystery, others that prefer the realistic. There's really no wrong answer, which is absolutely true. There's a lot of fans, especially of these two films, that really enjoyed the realistic, you know, dirty, scruffy, panhandler and all that type of stuff. And I know some of those folks, and I can appreciate that. There were aspects of it as far as the realism that I did enjoy, and we might get to that if we get to the Michael category. But it's true. I mean, there's no wrong answer. At the end of the day, like we said last night for Curse of Michael Myers, you know, I can enjoy all of these movies. You know, it's just a difference. You know, each one has a different level of enjoyment. So good point, man. Good point. Okay, Ronan, what do you think about the sound design?
Well, are we allowed to talk about like the specific sound, like the music that's happening when like kills are happening, or like the actual, like the Moody Blues, for instance?
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can talk about all of it.
Well, then I tell you what, I like his choice of bands that he picked. You know, like the Moody Blues are constantly playing. I like that. I thought for what it was, the actual soundtrack fit really well. I was thinking about that last night while I was watching it. Was like, what if we didn't have the music playing while this was going on? It would still be disturbing, but I feel like the music made it even more uncomfortable, which is what it's supposed to do.
Right.
So for me, I'm going to give the music a 4. Because I like the rock and roll artists that he picked. I like, you know, when she's in that shed, the Moody Blues are playing, and I love that. I love that. That's awesome. And again, it you know, I really sat and thought, I was like, dude, this would be pretty terrifying just watching it without any, you know, background music. But then to have that really uncomfortable background music playing, plus with the atmosphere of the rain crashing out, especially in that dream sequence, that music really made it feel even more uncomfortable, which I guess is what he wanted to do. I'm not a fan of the film, but if that's what you're going for, then the music did its job, I think. So I would give it a 4.
All right. Julie, how about you?
I'm just, well, right off the bat, I'm gonna go with a 2. I like what Ronan said about the in the dream scene. I love that part, and I think that's the use of music there was really good. But that being said, nothing else stood out to me. And I will say that I've watched a version of this movie that was edited to be rescored with the H18 soundtrack, and it added a lot to it. So whoever did that, I forget what YouTube channel it was, but it reminded me of how much a really good score can add to a movie. So, and it really, really reminded me how forgettable the sound design in this movie is, to me at least. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a bummer too.
Okay. All right.
Can I add one thing real quick?
Sure.
The scene where Brad Dourif finds Annie, you know, obviously his acting is perfect, but that background music playing, if you go back and watch the movie, really helps hit home, in my opinion. And this is really, I didn't really think I would see myself like giving this movie credit anywhere, but I think that helps that scene a lot, is the background. You know, Brad is great, but having that tragedy of a soundtrack playing, you know, that just tragic sounding music really helped you understand, like, this guy is just completely drained. He has nothing left.
Right.
All he wants to do now is kill the man that got her. That's it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. No, it was some good music and great acting and great emotion in that scene. No doubt at all, man. No doubt at all. Well said. In the chat, we got Nighttime in the chat saying Halloween 2 is the best. All right. We're gonna find out what the point total is. Let us know what you think about each of these categories, and welcome to the chat. We appreciate you being here. Scott saying the sound design felt uninspired to me. I'll give it a 2. All right. Entertainment is going with a 0 out of 10. Well, we're only going out of 5, 1 to 5. So you can give it, you know, anything up to 5. Hollywood guy coming in again with a super chat. Thank you so much, man. Said, did John Carpenter give Rob his blessing? Right. Well, you know, for the first film, Rob Zombie did speak with John Carpenter, and as you can imagine, John Carpenter was like, hey, man, you know, go do your thing. You know, it's pretty much as simple as that. It wasn't so much like John said, oh, I'm so happy you're doing this, or hey, I hate that you're doing this. He just said, hey, man, if you got the opportunity to do it, do it. And I know he's not a fan of the films. You know, he has said that, which I've talked about too on videos. So it's interesting. It's really interesting, the whole dynamic of Rob Zombie and these 2 films and how it fits into the franchise, you know. So, but thank you for that question, Hollywood guy. We appreciate you so much, man. Seriously. And I didn't see that was you, man. Aww. Ronan gifting another membership. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, that's too kind of you, man. Whoever got the memberships in the chat, definitely make sure you guys give a shout out to Ronan. It's very, very kind of him. Looks like it went to Jado. Jado's in the chat, and newer to the community, so you can now be part of the channel membership.
Dude. I enjoy it. It's fun. You know?
Yeah. Well, again, it's such a generous thing, man. It really is, and it helps out folks that may not be able to do it, or maybe folks that are not sure that they want to do it yet. So, and growing the community is awesome. I mean, all of you guys are an example of that. As we continue to grow this community, we have so many awesome people with such great talents, and it just is great. You know, you're making new friends. So, and this is one way that we're able to do that, by bringing people in as channel members and so forth. So again, thank you so much, man. Seriously. Rachel calling it out. That's exactly how it happened. He just said, hey man, go for it. You know, and I wouldn't have expected anything more from John. You know, he knows how the business works. So Ben coming in as well. $5 super chat. What's up, Ben? Good to have you here, man. He's saying Messiah of Evil, Dead and Buried. You know what I'm saying, Knight. I'm loving this Halloween debate series. Thank you so much, man. Seriously, we're so happy to be doing this. I'm just glad that folks are enjoying it. You know, it's a different way to look at these films and ultimately get a ranking that I think will be, you know, much more unbiased in a way. But it's also, you know, a culmination of everyone's input, you know, the folks that are here on the panels. So thank you so much, man. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And when we get to Messiah of Evil versus Dead and Buried, man, you wait. We're gonna have a party for you. It's gonna be a parade, man. It's on the list. It is on the list. And Val's got the playlist for all of these great debate streams. So thank you so much, Val, for putting that up. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go back to the wheel and let's see what we have next. Shape, this one is going to be for you. So let's see what the wheel gives us.
Mask.
Right? I know, man. You know, that's what I want. Ooh. The atmosphere. The atmosphere of the film. So obviously just talking about the atmosphere that is in this film, the ins and outs of it. What do you think, Shape?
I actually enjoy the atmosphere. For me, I felt that fall, you know, feel to it. Again, I grew up in Las Vegas, so I saw nothing but palm trees and desert and dirt. So to come to Illinois, where, you know, this was supposed to take place, you know, so coming to like Illinois and seeing like different seasons, seeing the fall, seeing the changes of colors, you know, having cornfields everywhere and bean fields and stuff and farm culture and this and that. So yeah, for me, I actually felt more of that fall atmosphere in this film, and like, you know, especially with the look of it. I love the rain, you know, when it's outside in the rain. I did like the look of that. the shot, again, like I'm getting, you know, we got that, but the shot where he's walking up to, you know, his mother and the white horse after he left the ambulance, that was a good shot. I like the look of that. I mean, overall, especially when he's in the barn after the dog and he looks up and, you know, that nice moon, you know, shining down on him, stuff like that. I mean, I like that kind of feel. I like the way that looked. So for me, atmosphere, I'm gonna give it a 5.
Wow. All right. Shape is not playing tonight, man. All right. Ronan, what do you think, man?
Man, I feel similar to the soundtrack. You know, like the atmosphere helped with the uncomfortableness of this movie. You know, one of the things that upsetted me the most was that dream sequence was a dream sequence. I wish they would have done the hospital. You know, again, like I had said earlier, I don't want to see Michael walking through a field without his mask on. The shed stuff, like, I don't know, or the barn, I don't know what that was really all about. But the atmosphere at the same time does help with the uncomfortableness. So I'll at least give it a 2. I won't be too unfair.
Okay.
But yeah, 2.
All right.
It just doesn't hit. It doesn't hit like you know, the original. It doesn't hit like the original Halloween 2 in the you know, in the hospital. It's not the same. But it helps with what they were going for. So I can't hate on it completely.
Okay. All right, man. Well said. Julie, how about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go higher mostly because of, well, I agree, the hospital being a dream made me extremely angry. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, the atmosphere in that scene was awesome. Overall, yeah, like what Shape said, it does feel like a fall autumn setting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, I'd probably give it a. I'd probably give it a 3.5. 3.5.
You guys. Okay. 3.5. All right. To me, I think there is some good atmosphere in this film. There's a lot of great moments. The dream sequence, specifically, that was just great. Just how it was delivered, the rain, the moments, even moments where he was in the field, like you guys said earlier with the moonlight and stuff like that. It did feel like a fall film. Um, but I will say there are times when I felt taken out because of certain scenes. When you go to the concert and stuff like that, it kind of takes me out a little bit and reminds me that this is a Rob Zombie film. And by the way, I just want to say this, and I really enjoy Rob Zombie's films. Just to say, especially for new folks here in the chat, I've really championed a lot of his movies because I enjoy a lot of his films. But as a Halloween film, I think it's a tough marriage. You know, when you have scenes like even the scene where she's at the record shop, like yeah, it's cool to see Laurie interacting with other friends and stuff like that. But again, the atmosphere sometimes was a little back and forth for me. But that being said, I thought overall it was good. I will say that's one of the things about this film that I do enjoy. So I'm actually going to go with a 4 for atmosphere. I'm going to go with a 4. Okay. Real quick too, just to catch up to the chat a little bit. Let's see. You guys are having a blast in here. Paul is going with a 5. Wow. There we go. Keith's going with a 1.5. Well, this is all over the place. This is great. Rachel's coming in saying, okay, I just tried to get 5 memberships. The payment went through, but I don't see anything in the chat. Can one of the mods see if it went through? I don't see it coming through, Rachel. But I'm sure these guys are gonna see if it is. We can't really check it behind the scenes, but I don't see it so far in the chat. I don't know if you want to try like doing one to see if it goes through. She said she checked her account and it's gone through. I'm
Well,
not sure.
I was
Maybe
just
it's a
gonna say
glitch.
I've sometimes it's happened a couple times where I've sent in a super chat and can you still hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. One of my earbuds died. And it says it goes through, but then it'll later on give me a refund or something. So hopefully,
Really? Oh, so it gives you a
yeah,
refund.
yeah. Like it'll still appear on your bank statement, but then there will be another one that says it'll
Oh,
subtract
okay.
for it. I
So
don't. There's no reason for it. I don't know why. But.
yeah, well, maybe that's what happened, Rachel. That it'll kick back to you for whatever reason. But I appreciate you trying to do that. I don't know if it is just a glitch in the moment or what have you. We have another one coming through. Oh, it's Ronan. Well, it looks like it's working for you, Ronan. Rachel, I'm sorry about that. That's a bummer. But Ronan,
Night,
thank you as well.
Night, can you give me 2 seconds? My dog's sitting here freaking nosing at my leg. I think she needs to go pee.
Yeah, no problem. It looks like it went to Mary. So Mary, you're back with us in the membership. Definitely give a shout out to Ronan. We really appreciate him doing that. Seriously. Yeah, I don't know. It could be just a glitch with YouTube. Who knows? Nothing really surprises me. It really doesn't. YouTube sometimes just does some really weird
Oh,
stuff.
there it is. It just showed up.
Okay, it showed up. All right.
That was the second one she did, but
Well,
it worked.
yeah, Rachel, let us know. Hopefully that's the one you were talking about that just went through and it just went to Peace to All, Fluff, Michael, Zeducation, and Alan. All right. Very cool. All right. Well, now I feel better. Thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that it went through and it didn't mess you up because, again, it's just a really generous thing to do something like that. So thank you so much. You're awesome. You really, really are. And let's see what we got next on the wheel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Our next spin. I know. Ronan, this will be for you starting off. Let's see what we get. Oh man, it keeps getting so close. It keeps getting so close.
Oh man.
The cinematography. Ronan, what do you think about the cinematography in this film, how it was handled, and what do you want to give a point for it?
Meaning, like, this is how stupid I am. Like, I can, like, this is different from directing, right? Like, how?
Yes. Yeah, the cinematography is just like the camera shots, the angles. When I think of,
the camera,
like when I think of something like 78 and what Dean Cundy did with the cinematography and, the POV and all those different things, it was just some really great stuff. So that's more of what it is.
All right. Not too much stands out. It just seems like basic Rob Zombie camera work. It seems like a regular Rob Zombie film. It seems like your typical lonely nighttime out in an open field. Nobody can help you. Nobody's around. Foggy atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So, but as far as camera shots go, I mean, there's nothing really to me. I'd give it a 1. There's nothing particularly special to me.
Okay.
Like so actually, now that you pointed that out, it's like when I think of like really good cinematography, this has nothing to do with horror, but I think of Vince Gilligan in Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I agree.
There's a lot of like if there's a shovel digging, the camera is on the shovel. You know what I mean? Like, so there was none of that. It's just basic regular camera work, in my opinion. I don't think it's very special. I've been generous in other areas. I'm not going to be very generous in this one. Just 1.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Julie, how about you?
Yeah, I'm sadly kind of in the same boat here. Although we did mention some cool shots earlier in the previous category, which I stand by that. And I agree with what Rachel said. She said it's a bit chaotic. Yeah. I would probably go a 2.
All right. We got a 2. Okay. Shape, how about you? What do you think about the cinematography?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much I agree with both of those. We kind of hit the nail on the head on those ones. So I mean, I've been very generous. Pretty much with all the categories we pretty much had. I'll probably give it a 2.
All right. We're going with a 2. I think for the cinematography, I mean, there's a couple of moments that I thought were really good. Like I mentioned earlier, the dream sequence scenes, like when she falls into the dumpster with the bodies and different things he did as Michael was coming up to the shack. I think there were some cool camera angles there. At the end, there were some cool angles there, when Michael dealing with the helicopter and the police lining up against him and so forth. But overall, again, we're talking about overall, I just feel as though there wasn't really anything special with the way that the camera moved and the camera shots that were taken throughout the film. So I agree, man. I'm going to go with a 2. All right. We got the cinematography. Board now said a -2. We can't do a negative, but wow. Hey, Sarah's coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much, Sarah. Very, very nice of you. I appreciate that. Saying I don't like this movie at all, but I do like dogs. Ronan, what kind of dog do you have?
She's half German Shepherd, half English Bulldog, which is a crazy mix, I know. But her mom was like a 13-year-old small little English Bulldog, and her father was like this gigantic German Shepherd. There were 4 puppies total. She's the only one that survived. They were all girls, and she's the only one. Marley, come here.
Aww.
She's the only one that's Brendel. Come on. Go around the couch, fool. Come here. Come here. Any other time she wants to listen, come here. Here
She knows the camera's on.
Here. Come here.
That's how it works.
There she is. Look.
Aww.
She's dark. She's Brendel, so you can't even unless I turn the light. She's trying to balance between the couch and the chair right now. So,
she's adorable.
she is a baby. She's 82 pounds, about the size of a pit bull, just a little bit heavier. And there's nobody gets in this house without me knowing. So
there you go.
Ever.
I like it.
So
I like it. Very, very cool.
Here she is.
Aw. Sarah said, "Oh my God, an angel." That's awesome, man.
I love her. She's my kid.
She's so cute, man. Very, very
Marley.
cool.
Marley. Her name's Marley.
Marley's a cool name. Yeah. All right. Very, very cool.
You gotta go. I gotta do stuff.
You're like, I got work to do.
She's like, you called me over.
Yeah. She's like, you started this, buddy. All right. So let's go to the wheel. And Julie, this will be your spin that you'll be starting us off with. So let's see what we get.
Big
Let's
money,
see
big
what-
money. Come
Big
on.
money. Ooh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
This could be just as much fun. The it factor. So the it factor is basically the entertainment value of the film. You know, how much does it entertain you? How much fun, do you have with it? How rewatchable is it? That's what the it factor is, okay? Only for this film. So Julie, with that being said, what would you give for the it factor as a point total?
Oh, I hate this because there's some scenes that I can watch like over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
The hospital, the very beginning, the opening. Well, maybe that's it. Because dang it, like I said earlier, I'm not really a fan of the second act. I don't like wandering hobo, panhandling hobo, whatever we were saying earlier. I just find the second act kind of boring. Oh, yeah, there he is. And then the third act is okay, but like I love the Annie part, but the finale in the shack does not have the it factor for me. In fact, I don't like the director's cut version or the regular version very much. Well, especially not the director's cut because, the famous line. Oh, dang it. But there's some really hard-hitting stuff. Like the first 25 minutes is like really it factor for me. So, well, all right. I guess that's going to have to be like a 2.5, I guess.
All right. A 2.5. All right. Shape, how about you?
Well, I could actually pretty much watch this anytime. Pop it in, watch it, and still have a good time and enjoy it. With the kills, like Michael is, again, overall everything. I mean, again, as I said before, I was one of the people that hated this movie. Like, I loathed this movie, and again, like this, for me, like coming back around to it, and then like again, listen to people's intake of their input on this movie, and just to actually dive deep into it. And to see what they were talking about, and to actually understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, same thing with Halloween Ends. Like I mean, I was on the official Halloween Ends, but then again, actually having a deep dive into it, and I'm trying to understand and see what they want to do. I mean, again, I can now I can actually enjoy the film for what it is, and actually pop it on every. I mean, if I say, hey, you know what? It's either going to be. Let me see. I watched 78, and then of course, one day, I'll put Halloween 2 in. Have a little fun. Put that one in. Is it for me? Is it like Resurrection style? Where I put Resurrection like every day. I almost put Resurrection in. But still, I'll give it a 3.5.
3.5. Okay. All right. Ronan, how about you? What would you say for the it factor overall?
So for me, like, I want to be able to pop a movie in, to watch it. Sometimes I just want to throw one in because, like, I need something on. This is not a movie that follows or falls under either of those categories. If I'm watching this movie, it's because I had to do homework, like for the stream. I did not want to watch this movie. The only time I was like going into this movie where I was like, okay, let's see what happens, is the first time I watched it, and then I was like, oh, whoops. Not my film, not my favorite movie. There's aspects about it that are good that help if you're talking about, like, did it do something for the movie? But as far as like it factor, as far as rewatchability, no, I would never be like, I'm bored. Let's watch that shitty Rob Zombie Halloween 2 movie. No, I don't have. I can't with this movie. It's no fun. It is exactly like like Russell's laughing in the chat. It feels like homework. It's like, why I don't want to do this. Like, so for me, 1. If I could give it less, I would. But to me, it's not super rewatchable at all. Just not a fan.
Okay, we got a 1. Real quick too, in the chat, we got Hop in the chat. Welcome. Hope you're enjoying the conversation. Saying, I like Rob's Halloween 1 and 2 better than the 3 last Halloween films.
Get away from get out. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Well, I mean, like I said, we're grading them by category, so it'll be interesting to see how these categories line up with the other 3 films. But welcome to the chat. We hope you're enjoying the conversation. We got Bronson in the chat. What's up, Bronson? Good to see you. Let's see. And Rachel said, pulling no punches. Oh, there you go. And by the way, if you guys haven't hit the like button, please make sure you guys do that. It definitely helps out the channel. We'd appreciate it. When I talk about the it factor, so again, we're talking about rewatchability. We're talking about entertainment, how much you enjoyed it. Like, and I saw this film in the theater. I've seen most of the Halloween films in the theater, except for the first 5. So that being said, it's not a fun movie, and I'm not just grading it on that, but it's a film that sometimes it's just grating, because again, Laurie's not very likable in a lot of it. Loomis is an ass, which to me I didn't agree with that choice for Loomis. It really was a sharp turn from what he was in the first movie, which in the first movie I thought, here's the thing. In the first movie, Malcolm McDowell was doing his own version of Loomis. He wasn't doing an echo of Donald Pleasance, but he was still able to be heroic. He was still able to be our POV. He was actually able to show a lot more sympathy than Donald's portrayal of Loomis. And I thought that was really cool, especially in a movie like 2007 was. You kind of needed some of that tenderness, right? But in this film, he just goes, full on to the money. He's a jerk. And I just didn't enjoy that. So there's a lot of things in this film that I didn't really have fun with. So when I talk about the it factor being rewatchability, entertainment, how much you enjoyed it, I'd have to go with a 3. Actually, no, I'm sorry, a 2. I'm going to go with a 2. I was looking at another category on the page. Just like, wait a minute, what? I just don't, I don't go to this film often. It just is what it is. There's good stuff in it. I consider it a pretty good slasher film, but I don't think it's a great Halloween film.
It's a great Rob Zombie movie. It's not a great Halloween movie.
There you go. Yep. I can agree with that, man. I can agree with that, no doubt. We got Rachel. Love the first 2/3. There you go. Sarah said we got 42 likes. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sarah. We appreciate you keeping us on board with that. Eric saying, I still have to go with 5 for the worst. Really? The absolute worst? Well, we're gonna find out as we go through these. That's interesting, man. Wow, you made me pause in my head. Wow. All right. Okay. Next up, let's go back to the wheel, and this will go back to me for the spin. And you know what it should land on.
Mask.
Ah, it keeps
This is rigged.
keeps going so close. Okay, the mythology. So again, mythology is just, we're talking about Michael, the depiction of the story and how it's shaped up, no pun intended. Um for me, last night I talked about how the mythology was diminished because they were trying to explain Michael way too much, and the execution of it was poor. Shout out to the Rocks. For Halloween 2, I think that Michael being in broad daylight, panhandling on the street, standing outside of a 7-Eleven loitering, and all these, all of these different types of things, for me, I just feel like it diminishes him. It really diminishes him. I can enjoy it for what it is, and like I said, I can watch this film as well as the first film, and there's some really cool things in it. When I saw these in the theater, it wasn't that I had a horrible time watching it. I was just puzzled by certain things. But I feel as though, and I think, I don't know, Ronan, you might have said it, seeing him walk, 100 miles, with his beard hanging out and all that, I just feel as though we don't need to see that. I don't need to see any of that. We already humanized him so much in the first film, with going through the backstory and so forth. I just think for mythology, they just kind of went down the wrong path. So for me, I'm actually going to give mythology a 2. I'm just not big on what they did with the character, how he interacted at the end. He's like, die. It's like, come on, man. I mean, it just didn't really make sense to me. Shape, what do you think, man?
When it comes to mythology, again, like for me, if you want to be like a Halloween purist, what John Carpenter gave us as Michael, being like a force of nature, experiencing the evil, a great white shark and stuff, just does what he does, and like to have this Michael to be more like realistic, like a real serial killer in a way. Didn't really follow too much mythology in this one, and overall, I mean, my thing is like this, like right here, like this is what like one of the biggest things for me in this one here. I mean, again, I do enjoy the film and stuff, but when it comes to like this major part of Michael, I really can't deal with it too much because in a way I love Tyler Mane as Michael. I like how Michael's brutal in this and how he is, but you can't take another horror character and then mix it with Michael, because when you look at Michael, he has his mother with the white horse. His mother telling him what to do in a way. What's that sound like?
Jason.
Kill it for me. Yeah, it follows the Jason in a way mythology, and
yes,
to me this was like one of the biggest things. Like I just couldn't. If you take that out, then it's like okay, this could be like a different version of like a Michael Myers mythology, like way different version. But if you're adding something else to make it like to identical to another, like to Jason, this right here, I really don't think I can rank it, to be honest. I can if I rank it, I'm gonna give for this specific reason, I'm gonna give it a 1.
Ooh, there you go, a 1. All right, gotcha. Ronan, how about you, man?
So I couldn't agree with both of you more. You guys hit the nail right on the head. To me, Michael is best in the element of why is this happening? Who is he? What motivates him? We don't know. Doesn't matter. That dude's got a mask on, got a knife, he's coming after you. You don't need to know why. You don't need to see him doing human things. You don't need to see him walking through a field. You don't need to see him talking, saying die. You don't need to see him visioning his mom as a white horse at all. Like, you don't need to see any like him having daydreams or like visions. That's something people could relate to. I don't want to be able to relate to him.
Right.
That's why he's scary. Again, it's about capturing the essence of evil. You wouldn't ask. He was talking about like a great white shark. You wouldn't ask a polar bear why it kills everything in sight. It just does what it does. It's supposed to do that. Evil does what evil does, and it possesses a body. Evil does not possess that body and then show human emotions. It does make sense. So for me, I'm gonna go 1.5.
Okay, 1.5. Okay, Julie, how about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. We saw so much of his daily routine, it felt like, that I was like almost shocked we didn't see him like on the toilet. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just, there was nothing, any ounce of.
He's sitting there like looking up at the would be right there, go to the bathroom.
Sitting there reading a Fangoria magazine.
Yeah. So anyway, I just any trace of mysticism is like, after that first 25 minutes or so, it's, for me, it's kind of gone. See him too much, and it's not even about the daylight thing, because if you think of like in H2O, we see him, riding dirty a lot in the car and in the bathroom, and not in the bathroom in that way, but
yeah.
In the rest stop scene, and but there's something completely different between all of that and then seeing him, trekking around, walking dirty, I guess, if you will.
That's right.
All the times that he does in this, so it's just, there's something different, and I saw someone in the chat earlier say something about the daytime argument, and it's not that, it's just, it's the way it's done,
Yeah, because he's out in the daytime in 78,
right.
6, 2018 kills. Yeah,
it's just like, he's too human in this, and you feel like you're getting his whole daily routine, and I don't want to know what he's thinking and doing all the time. So I think maybe a 1.5.
Okay.
I'll give him that little 0.5 for the first 25 minutes.
Okay. All right. 1.5. All right. Let's jump to the chat real quick. We've got wow, these guys are working hard. We got Robert in the house. What's going on, Robert? Hope you're enjoying the conversation. Saying, I hated the need for a backstory, and the backstory that Rob chose was cliche and lame. I agree. Yes. What I hate even more was the movie gave up doing its own thing, and the second half is scenes from 78. Agreed, man. Agreed. We got Child of the Corn in the house. Anthony, what's up, man? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a while. All right. Coming in with a super chat. Much appreciated, man. We appreciate that. Saying the first 25 minutes of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is better than all of Ends. Ooh. Well, I don't know.
What?
I don't know about that.
I beg to differ.
You know what? I will say this though, and who knows, we still might get that for a category. And by the way, man, seriously, thank you so much for the super chat. But the thing, and I think one of you guys said it earlier, the thing with the hospital scene, and I know it was a way to nod the original Halloween 2. But I think the fact that it was a dream, for me, it diminishes it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's still great, but I would have loved it if that was real, and then let's say they fast forward a couple months, she escapes him instead in the shack. You know what I mean? Like, see, she finds a way to get out of the shack or whatever. So it is a really good scene. It really, really is. But I do think it's a little diminished because it is a dream sequence. So
Speaking on that dream sequence real quick, I counted it last night. I think one of the reasons that it hurts so bad that it's a dream sequence is literally, if you watch it, it's a little bit over 20 minutes long. A 20 plus minute long dream sequence.
Right.
Not a quick 30-second flashback, but 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Of this didn't really happen.
Yep.
Yeah. I think it went on too long, and then to say it's a dream, and it's kind of like, man, that kind of sucks, And then maybe that's what he was aiming for, is to make you just try to believe so much that it was real, and then to pull the rug out. But I didn't really think.
It's like
I didn't enjoy that.
It's like he was like, you remember the first one? Remember the original second one? Yeah, we're not doing that.
Right.
Yeah, yep. It honestly felt, again, that term mean-spirited, because it's like he knew that's what not everyone, but a lot of people were looking forward to seeing, and then gives us 20 minutes of it, maybe because he was forced to, probably. Yeah. I would say.
Yep.
And then and then it's like, well, how much of it did happen? Because the stuff with the coroner's van, that happened, right? He did escape. So it's like
he did escape. Yeah.
She did go to the hospital. So it's just, I don't know. It's
Is it a dream of a memory, or is it just 20 minutes of wasted screen time?
I'm thinking dream of a memory, because a lot of it did happen, I guess. But
it was an interesting choice. That's for sure,
man. Because there was literally no reason for it to be a dream. She literally, like you said, she could have just escaped at the very end, and nothing would have changed. It just would have not ruined the impact of the scene.
That's right, man.
Tried and dirty.
Tried and dirty. I like that.
That's good.
We got Born to Be Reds in the house. What's up, Garrett? Good to see you. Saying sup, peeps. Had to chime in. 2 times in my life, the theater booed at the end of the movie. It was this and Blair Witch 2. Laugh out loud. Ooh, there you go. All right. We got Byron in the chat. And by the way, Garrett, thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you. Byron's in the chat. Andre's in the chat saying, how can you say he's too human when Michael can drive cars in all the other movies? Well, I think what I mean, if you're asking me, I think what I mean is that Michael, like even in the first film, okay, so he drives the car to go to Haddonfield, right? It's a quick scene, and that's it. He's in Haddonfield, and he's in the shadows. He's stalking. We don't see him eat the dog. We don't see him do much of anything except for the stalking and then the killing. It just adds this mystique to him. Like, I'm wondering what he's about. He doesn't show any emotion. He doesn't grunt. So I'm thinking, well, why doesn't he do those things? If you look at 2018, when they're searching for him with the SUV, Sartain and Will Patton's character, Hawkins, Michael turns around and just stands in front of that SUV as it's coming towards him. It's just crazy. It's like, why does he do those things? It's just a mystery to him. Whereas in these 2 films, they explain it all. And you know exactly why he becomes Michael Myers, the Michael Myers that he becomes. And you also understand why he's killing the people, what he's feeling, with the grunting and the vengeance. And I'm not saying that that's bad necessarily in and of itself. It's a choice. But I just feel as though when there's more mystery to it, when I don't know why he's doing what he's doing, it changes his mythology and makes it a little bit more unique versus something like a Jason or a Leatherface or a all those other killers that are physical, right? This is one way that Michael stands apart from them. And especially in these 2 movies, I think this Michael Myers is pretty much like Jason. I mean, you guys said it, when he's seeing visions of his mother and kind of following her orders. I mean, that's so much like Jason. It's like, I just think it's not the best choice, just as my opinion, All right. Jamie's in the house. What's up, Jamie? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Glad to have you here. We got David in the house too. All right. And we also have, we got another super chat coming in. Thank you so much, Hollywood guy, back with us. $5 super chat. Let's see what he's saying. Knight, in your honest opinion, which was better, Season of the Witch or Halloween 2? Oh, Season of the Witch. That's easy. I enjoy Season of the Witch so much more. And Hollywood Guy, I don't know if you remember this, but I've said this many times on the channel. This is why I always say just keep an open mind. For a long time as a kid into my late teens, I absolutely hated Season of the Witch. I hated Season of the Witch more than maybe any other movie for a long time because I was upset that Michael wasn't in it. I was a kid when I first saw it. But then I gave it a chance at one point and said, well, let me just see what it's about. And I watched it and I was like, well, this is actually a pretty good movie. And I understood what they were trying to do. I realized that they were trying to make an anthology and so forth. Like sometimes the behind the scenes can change your point of view as well, depending, and sometimes time can change your point of view. Like I actually enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 a little bit more now than I did back in the day. And part of that is because of talking about it in videos and live streams and talking about it with people that do enjoy it and do have some valid points of why they enjoy it. So Hollywood Guy saying for him, Season of the Witch as well. All right. There you go. All right. Eric's saying he's showing emotion when he dresses like a ghost in the original. It's being playful with his victim. He's not completely emotionless, in my opinion. No, I don't think he's completely emotionless. I agree with that. I just don't like the grunting, bro. You know that. It's like, come on, man. Just kill people.
Yeah, don't tell me over the top too.
Yeah, you're just showing me that you're doing this out of anger. In 78, 4, and so many other ones, he's killing, and I don't have any idea why. To me, that's scary because it could be anybody, a roll of the dice. And I think that's a little bit scarier, actually a lot scarier to me, in my opinion. That's just my opinion.
Dude, think about it. Imagine, put yourself in your place right now, everybody, right? It's 3 a.m. in the morning, you're sleeping. You wake up to go get a drink of water and you ain't got the lights on. You turn the light on, there's a dude standing, in your doorway.
Right.
He's not saying anything. You can't hear anything. You just hear him breathing heavily, and he's got a mask on and a knife, and he just walks towards you. And you try to ask him this, ask him that. Nothing. You get no response. Okay. Mm-hmm. Or a 6-foot-tall dude standing there, and as he's coming out, you just...
Right.
I mean, both are terrifying.
This is a big, pissed-off guy that I can fight, right? And, we're going to fight. And I get it. He's showing emotion. The other guy, I'm like, I'm going to go out the back door.
Yeah, it just shows it just shows that he's just not like a regular dude. You know what I'm saying? He's just not like the average dude, and that's kind of scary because I'm like, what do you got going on, bro? You know
Absolutely
what I'm saying?
No emotion.
Yeah, it's scary, man. Real quick too in the chat, just to catch up with these guys. Zeducation saying, who gifted me a membership? I wasn't even subscribed. Well, hopefully you are subscribed now. But we had some gifted memberships from Ronan and Rachel. And I think we had a couple others too. But hopefully you're subscribed and enjoying the conversation, man. But we had some really generous gifting tonight. So very, very cool stuff, man. We got Ginger Ninja coming in saying, it's interesting. I never put 2 and 2 together with this iteration of Michael and Jason with the mother aspect. Very good point. Yeah, I mean, I think that this version of Michael, for better or for worse, I think has a lot of parallels to Jason, in his physicality and also, the mother angle and so forth, So, all right. And Zeducation said, I'm subscribed now. Thank you very much. Well, thank you as well. We appreciate the support. Andre said, I'm going to be honest, I'll be scared of any man walking towards me in that mask. Absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely scary on both versions. I agree with that.
For sure, dude. Like, you wake up in the middle of the night and there's some random dude in your house with a mask on. Like, that's going to be terrifying. It's just the lack of explanation and the lack of understanding why this is happening. To me, it's more scary to not know why this dude's doing it. There's no motive. You're not trying to. Why are you here? Oh, you're trying to steal my stuff? Oh, well, that's one thing. Oh, you're, but then when you don't get an explanation, that's so much worse.
Yep, absolutely. Zeducation, yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad you were surprised. I'm glad it was a good surprise. All right, so let's head back to the wheel. We got a couple more categories left to spin for, and Shape, you'll be starting us off with this one. Let's see what we get. We've only got a couple of choices left.
It's gonna be the next.
Let's hope it is. Let's hope.
Gotta be.
Oh, it keeps.
Boy.
Well, okay. Well, now this is okay though, because this is just a talking point, so we're not scoring this. And let's run through this real quick. But Shape, what would you say is the worst scene in this film, if you have a worst scene?
Worst scene in the film.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta think about this one. I really gotta think about this one.
Yeah.
If you need time, I have one.
Okay. Yeah. What do you got, Julie?
Go ahead, Julie.
The talk between the two, Richard Brake and the other guy in the van.
Oh,
Now I
yeah.
need to think of a new one.
Dude, oh, I'm sorry. It's the same one, but it is just.
Well, that's okay if you have the same one. It's just asking you guys' opinion of what the worst scene would be.
I'm just messing around.
I have no words. It's just I hate that chunk of dialogue so much. It's just like it's the same thing as some of the stuff we were saying in 2007. It's just like, excuse me, not like no.
Yeah.
But it did make you glad when they died, I guess. So there's that.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, again, it's just showing, like my brother Killian says, showing those zombie-isms,
Yep.
like that conversation didn't need to even happen to make those deaths effective.
It didn't, yeah.
But he made that choice, to have this really disgusting conversation, man. Whereas, you could have had something similar like in Halloween 4, when they had Michael being transported. And, again, EMTs have their little conversations and stuff like that. But it wasn't despicable conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So anyways, Shape, did you come up with one?
Yeah. So I'll give her for that one. Yeah, that one was scene. Also for me would be the strip club scene.
Oh yeah.
We got the Frankenstein and the girl and stuff, and then of course, I mean, again, I really don't. Rob, that's what Rob Zombie kind of does most. Like we talked about this in the Halloween the 2007 one, where we see the girls running around completely naked most of the time, just running around and have to prolong the scene of the kill and stuff. Yeah, that right there, I thought was pretty much like the worst scene for me.
Mm-hmm. All right. What about you, Ronan?
All right, since I agree with both of them on those also being the worst scenes, and basically I could say pretty much every scene in this movie is the worst scene. I'm gonna go with. There's like that dream sequence where like there's like the freaking pumpkin heads wearing masks and shit around the dinner table, and it makes absolutely no goddamn sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand it. I don't know what the dude was trying to say. Like again, another dream sequence that wasted screen time, that made no sense, that honestly made me like question like, what am I doing right now? Why am I watching this? This is stupid. If you're gonna watch a Rob Zombie movie, go watch like 31 or something. That that's him. But to do that kind of thing in a Halloween 2 movie, it just makes me. It doesn't make me feel good. That's the worst scene.
All right. Okay. And Jamie in the chat saying, Night, promise me this isn't going to be about all the worst stuff in H2. It's not. And actually, Jamie, you got to check out the replay because we've actually given out a few 5s, which is really, really cool. So we've got 10 categories. We can score them 1 to 5, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. And we've got a couple categories where we got some 5s. So it's been fair. And, we're doing this by category. So, but this has been a fun series. And this is the 3rd film that we've, the 4th. Yes, the 4th film that we've done in the franchise. So it's fun stuff. For me, I would say probably the ending, the finale. I thought it was very anticlimactic. I think Scott or someone else said that in the chat, and I agree. The Loomis thing didn't really do much for me. Him talking and, making a speech about die and all that. Laurie, her ending was kind of like, so it just, again, there's a few scenes I could have talked about, but I'm going to say the ending. I just did not really, I didn't connect with that much at all. It felt like it was just, I don't know. It was just unbalanced, man. It really, really was.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to the wheel to go with our official 9th category to score. All right, Shape. We're trying this again. Man, it keeps getting close. Well, okay. Listen, it's another talking point. This isn't for score. All right, so let's go through this real quick, guys. Just give me your idea of the best scene or a scene that you enjoyed in the film. Shape, we're going to start with you.
Very much Brackett finding his daughter Annie. It's probably one by far the scene in the movie.
All right. Well said. Well said. Ronan, how about you?
I second that. That's the one I would have went with. If I was going to give another scene any kind of props, I like the scene where Lori comes into work. You know, with her friends or whatever, and you got the old man as her boss, and he seems like he's a pretty cool old relaxed dude. It's like a welcome relaxation, like a welcome break from the nonsense and the chaos that's happening, you know, for a couple of seconds there on screen, or at least a minute or two, you get to see her being happy with her friends. So I would give that the best scene. And also, I do like her boss, you know, talking about like, stick it to the man, sister, and shit like that, you know, like, that was cool. So,
okay. All right. Julie, how about you?
My favorite scene is actually a deleted scene. if I couldn't share that.
Yeah.
It's the one where, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's Lori's at work and she goes out into like the back alley to take out the trash. And she looks across the street and there's like a park with a bunch of kids. And
she's holding like pigs.
Not that scene.
Okay. I haven't seen this one.
She looks across the street. There's a park with a bunch of kids, and then there's this guy who's like pulling a rope, and she looks closer, and she sees her brother Michael like hanging her from a tree, and it's like she's seeing herself be hung by him, and it's really eerie and it's super cool. And I wish they had not deleted it.
I need to look that up.
Yeah, you should. There's a couple deleted scenes where they show him like finding her and killing her in various ways, and they were deleted, and I don't know why, because they were really cool.
Well, there was a lot of studio interference too, man.
But really, that tree hanging one that's probably my favorite. But one that's not deleted that's my favorite is when she's being brought into the hospital, or she is in the hospital, and it's like intercut between her, the surgeons like removing like her fingernails and all the damage to her body, and it cuts between her, and then it cuts to Michael's dead body being put into the coroner's van and all that, and I love that part too. But
all right,
definitely that deleted scene is my favorite.
Okay. For me, I'm gonna be quick about this. I agree with you guys with Brad Dourif's scene. It's just really powerful and some really, really good acting by him, and the emotion of it always gets me. So we got Carrie in the chat too. What's up, Carrie? Good to see you. Hope you are doing well. All right. Okay, we got to get these last two categories, man. Let's see what we get. We've got 4 choices. Here we go.
Come on, mask. Come on.
It happened. It happened.
All right, yeah.
All right. Okay, Shape, we're going to start with you. People in the chat, buckle up. We're about to do this thing. And just remember that. Okay, Shape. Hold on. Shape. When we talk about the mask in this film, or the choice to not have the mask, what's the point total you want to give it?
For the mask, it's basically going to be, it's going to kind of be like a tie in a way. My thing is, for the mask, I think my favorite part of the mask, is, of course, the dream sequence mask, where it's got the blood and stuff. I like the way that looked. But when we get to like further on where he gets like torn off, I don't quite like that because again you're seeing Michael's face, like half his face in a way. I like with the back in a way. And with Michael, having him not have the mask on, like majority of the film. I mean, again, I guess in a way, it kind of gives mask like a purpose. Where when the only time he puts it on is when he kills and stuff, so it kind of gives like a purpose, I guess. But at the same time, I like the dream sequence, but when it gets to the other part, I don't quite care for it. So I'm gonna give it a 3.
A 3. Okay. All right. Ronan, how about you, man?
I like it in the first Rob Zombie Halloween, believe it or not. I think it's a really good mask then. Like he just said, when it gets ripped and it's showing his face behind it, that defeats the whole goddamn purpose of the mask. It's a mask. It's supposed to cover his face up, not show part of his face. But if that's what so I'll keep it short and sweet. 1.
Okay. Simple. We got a 1. All right. Julie, how about you?
Yeah, the first 30 minutes, it's excellent. And that scene where he's in the rain outside and it's all bloody on the one part where he was shot in the face, it looks excellent. But once it starts getting torn up, and as soon as you start seeing his eye poking out, and it it gets gets scarcer and scarcer throughout the movie, and I don't think is it ever fully off in not the director's cut. I'm not sure, but
I don't know, man. I just know that scene with him and Sherry Moon are in the field looking up, and I'm like, come on, guys, come on.
Well, anyway, I'm not a fan of that. But with the first 30 minutes, I'll give it a 2 because of that.
Okay, we got a 2. Okay, guys, it's time to cook. Listen, I'm just saying, and I know there's some folks. I know my good buddy Eric. He likes Hobo Myers. I do not. Again, there are ways to change up a character, modernize it, make it slick or whatever. I'm gonna give you a great example. I'm gonna give you a couple. Freddy Krueger. I thought he looked great in New Nightmare, and that's totally different than what he used to be. But I thought it was great. It's a big change. Another example is Freddy in Freddy vs. Jason, that demon scene where he's like red and he's like all devil looking. I would have loved to have seen some Freddy like that. If you look at Halloween Kills, when the mask is all burnt up, or even in Ends when it's all moldy and dirty and grimy, like it's a way where it's recognizable to the character, but it's different than what had come before, And I think with this, it just went too far left. I don't want, and someone else in the chat, let me see if I can pull it up. It was a great comment that I agree with. Someone had said something about the mask. Yeah. Vinyl in the house saying not having the mask and showing that much Tyler Mane was a bit much. I agree. I don't want to, if it was quick, here's another example. James Drew Courtney in the trilogy. You saw glimpses of him, right? And that was it, just glimpses. I don't need to see him fully. I just think it takes away from Michael. And obviously that was a choice that Rob Zombie made, and he was fine with it, and that's okay. I'm not. I just think that the mask should have been on him. It shouldn't have been all ripped and shook. He basically had 5% of a mask at one point. It's like, dude, just take it off. Just take it off. We know you're on the streets panhandling. We know. That being said, the dream sequence mask, yes, it looked really good. Like you said, Shape, that scene in the rain at the shack, it looked really good. But that scene, as far as what we see of Michael, is so few and far between versus the rest of the film. So for me, man, I got to go with a 1.5. I'm just not a fan of what they chose to do with the mask and not the mask. It's a huge issue for me, man, just being honest.
How can you call him the Shape when you see his face?
Yeah.
All the time.
Exactly. It's just I just don't agree with it, man.
And I don't have proof of this, but I have a feeling that if if he wasn't forced to have the mask in the movie, he would have been that the whole time if Rob got his way. That's just speculation, but I have a feeling that's, just
if you have it as that guy and you don't call it Halloween and he's not Michael Myers, I'm fine.
Right.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Agreed. I absolutely agree with that.
Like I said, that dude the Shape. No. Why'd you? Somebody should be in jail for this.
I love it, man. All right, real quick in the chat. Oh Lord, and Ronan, thank you again, man. You're not playing around tonight, man. Gifting another membership. I appreciate you, brother. Seriously, it's going to Anthony. Anthony, make sure you give a shout out to our man Ronan here, who's just been so generous tonight. It's absolutely cool. It really is. Thank you.
Oh, Jamie asked, is he credited as the Shape? I don't know. In Rob Zombies.
If I'm not mistaken, it's Michael Myers.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that. Rachel coming in too with a super chat. Thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate that. Sam, she said,
"What?
5 points to Hobo Myers." There you go.
Rachel's into the hobo. I didn't expect that.
I didn't expect it either. Hey, let me ask, Rachel, are you being serious? Like you would have given a 5 for the mask? I'm curious now. Let me know if you're serious. Boy, can you imagine if Rachel was on this panel tonight? Holy crap.
Yeah.
But it's all good, man. It's all good. If people love it, I'm okay with that too, man.
I wish I loved it.
Yeah, I wish I did too. We got Mad Blood in the house. Welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Much appreciated. Hope you're enjoying this conversation. Saying Rob Zombie Halloween movies are always fun to debate. So many big ups and downs throughout both movies. That is well said, and I absolutely agree with it. It's a roller coaster, and that's why it's so much fun talking about it. It's really a lot of fun because there's some folks that are they're hardcore for it, man. And then there's some people that are not fans of panhandlers, and it's okay. It's okay. No, you guys know I'm just playing. I don't have any problem with any panhandlers in real life, but in this film I do.
Yeah.
I do. All right. Jamie said Rachel just made me so happy. Rachel said I'd probably go with a 3. I just like Hobo Myers because he feels like zombies, Michael. It's true.
He does.
It's a good point. He's definitely Rob Zombie's version of Michael. No doubt about it. Yes. Okay, let's go back to the wheel. We're looking for our last category. We've got 3 choices left. This will be the 10th category that we're going to score. And let's see what we get. And Ronan, you'll be starting us off. Ooh, do it! Yes!
Ooh.
Yes! And more yes. Hold on, let me put us on screen. Hey, look. This is random, by the way. Just say this is totally random. So it can be random to an advantage for some films and a disadvantage for other films. So we're going to be talking about Michael Myers in this movie only, as far as what we saw in this film and how you felt about that. You get what I'm saying? What we saw him do in this film. And again, scoring it 1 to 5. So, Ronan, what do you think about Michael Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2?
Who?
Right? Yeah.
We're supposed to talk about Michael, right? Like, because that's not Michael. Now,
oh boy.
I'll tell you what, like I said, if it was just like, Rob Zombie presents hobo dude walking through a field who's really pissed off because he has mommy and daddy issues and likes to stab people and eat dogs, perfect. 10 out of 10. Dude did a great job as his character. But
yeah,
the character of Michael is supposed to be the Shape. He's supposed to not exude anything. You're not supposed to understand him. You're not supposed to get him. You're not supposed to, you're not supposed to see him walking through fields or eating dogs. You're supposed to hear about him doing those things.
Right.
So, because it's the final category and I want to somewhat be nice, no, the hell with that. I'm giving it a 1.
Okay, all right. We got a 1. All right. Julie, how about you?
Like, I don't have too much to add to what we've already said about him, but I will say, hobo aside, he's terrifying, and I would not want to be alive if I had the knowledge that he was coming after me for eternity. That's horrible. I think he's very scary in this, hobo aside, but that being said, I'd probably do a 2.
A 2. Okay.
2, yeah.
All right.
Because he is scary, and Tyler Mane does a really good job. But
yeah, I totally agree. Tyler did a great job, no doubt. All right, Shape. What do you think?
5.
Last category. You going with a 5?
I was kidding.
Oh.
Hey man, look, I don't know what to expect, man. All I know is that this guy is supposed to be Michael Myers in this film. That's all I know. So, what do you think?
Well, for me, I just go to Rob Zombie. He's basically trying to make it more realistic, right?
Yeah.
You guys, the hobo, the way he looks like that. I mean, again, it's just supposed to take place in Haddonfield, Illinois, right? In Illinois, we get cold weather, we get below 0 temperatures. So I don't see Michael just running around in, just some coveralls and a mask. He's going to want to layer up. If it's more realistic, it's going to want to layer up, have some other clothes on him. So I can kind of see why they kind of went with this choice for Michael in this one. Because like I said, we can blow some temperatures out here. I'm all bundled up. I got 6 layers on. Trying to keep warm outside. So I kind of see what Rob Zombie was doing, make it more realistic. I love the way Tyler Mane portrayed Michael again, but I'm gonna have to just be kind of nice and give it a 2, just because what we already talked about was because of the mommy Jason connection, and that's probably the only thing, majority of the thing I really can't forgive besides Dr. Loomis, but that's the biggest one for me. So I'll give it a 2 at least, just because Tyler Mane, try to be more realistic in a way of how he looked.
Okay.
Can I add one quick thing to that?
Yeah.
This is a joke. I do not want to see Michael standing there being like, "Oh my God, it's so cold."
Right? This is a guy. Hey, listen, this is a guy.
Not feel cold.
That's what I was about to say. This is a guy that walked out of a burning house slowly.
Yeah.
He didn't run.
Oh my God, it's such a chill in the air. I need to grow a beard and get a jacket and eat dogs.
Yeah. Oh
man. Well said, man. Well, we got a lot of different scores in in the audience as well, and we also have another super chat coming in from Ben. $5 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Much appreciated. Said, I want a Halloween spin-off spiritual sequel titled Sam Hain. That I had that Loomis in me right there. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that. I really wouldn't. It would be interesting. I'm all for. Listen, here's the thing for me. I love the franchise and I love Michael as a villain. So I'm all for whatever people want to do, as long as they respect it, and hopefully there's good execution. You know what I mean? There was some good execution in both of these films, which I appreciated, that we did not see in some of the other earlier films, like a 5 or even H2O. And I'm talking about the CGI masks, Steven. They did it. My boy Steven's in the chat. So they did execute a lot of things well in this film as far as the filming of it, except for the choice of not having the mask. So when I talk about Michael in this film and how he was portrayed, he was scary. Tyler did a great job. He's physical. I mean, he should be. He used to be a wrestler. If he's not scary at this point, I don't know what to say. Shout out the Sabretooth.
That's right. Yep.
If you know. But again, I'm not a big fan of this version of Michael. I'm not a fan of the anger and the grunting and the eating dogs. on camera. No, he didn't do it on camera, but they really were pushing that limit. Now I agree with what you said, Shape. You know, if it's colder, you know, he's gotta. If we're doing it in a realistic way, then yes, I get it. But to me, you know, Halloween. Look, he made a choice to be realistic. I don't agree with that choice. It doesn't have to be realistic to me. I enjoy the movies where it's a ride. Tyler was great, but for this category, our last category, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I'm gonna go with a 2. I'm gonna go with a 2. There we go. So we got the 10 categories. We scored the characters, the kills, the directing, the sound design, the atmosphere, the cinematography, the it factor, the mythology, the mask, and Michael Myers himself. What a way to end this, man. We got our Christmas gifts all together at one. That was great. Steven said, "Now, Night, don't go there." I know. But the CGI mask was there, though, man.
We never forgive. We never forget.
Hey, Pepperidge Farms remembers, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So listen, guys. We went through the 10 categories. We scored it. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to be tallying up that score. And again, for you guys that are channel members and Patreon members, I'm going to be giving an update for each film, what we have for a score. So that's Rob Zombie's Halloween that we did. We did H2O. Last night we did Curse of Michael Myers, and tonight for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I'll let you guys know what those scores are, and eventually we will have them be the way that we're going to rank the franchise, which is going to be an absolute blast to do. And I think it's going to be a lot of surprises. I really do. And that's why we're doing this live stream series. So anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. You guys in the chat have been awesome. If you haven't hit the like button, make sure you do that. It helps us a lot. Let us know in the comment section what you thought of some of these categories. We didn't get to everyone's comment because there was just so much going on, but we appreciate the engagement. Leave us some comments. Make sure you guys subscribe to Shape. We've got the link in this live chat and also in the description. You guys on the panel, hang on for a second after we do the outro. But thank you guys for taking the time to be here today and having some fun and going through this process one by one, all these different categories. It was a lot of fun, man. It really, really was. And for you guys in the chat, we appreciate you. We hope that you guys have a good night. Hang out with us tomorrow night. We're going to be diving into 1981's Halloween 2. So we're going to see how those categories add up. Again, the wheel is random. So we'll see what 10 categories we get with that. And we will catch you guys next time. And as always, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, you are the Night Watch. Peace.